Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Grace, Peace, and Balance podcast by Gabi Abdelkadir. Today, I have an incredible guest for you. I have seen him speak twice, and I cannot tell you, I was dying to get him into my podcast and to interview him. He is amazing, and he is young but incredible. So this is episode 109, and this is my guest today is Kirk Gimenez. Did I say it right? Yeah.
It's Kirk Gimenez.
Kirk Gimenez?
Yes. It's Jimenez, but with a G. I misspelled it, and that trips up a lot of people, but that's okay.
So Kirk Gimenez?
Yes.
Okay. So Kirk is the founder and host of Xizzle TV. You can see it there, a new smart TV platform that focuses on making TV in English. Yes. For the Latino, brown, and Black communities. God only knows, do we need that, people? Kirk is a network anchor formerly with ESPN and SNY, two-time Emmy Winner TV host and executive producer. He is the founder of Xizzle TV, and he will be sharing with you his 2022 media deck, which will be listed. I will be sharing his bio on all his lists and social media links so you can get in touch with him should you be interested to be interviewed, to be on his show. I'll be posting it both on Podbean and on my YouTube channel. So do get in touch with him. This does not give you any credit. It's very short. Let's get to you. Welcome to my podcast.
Gabi, thank you so much for having me. And thank you so much for an amazing intro. That's incredible. So much appreciated.
You're welcome. Okay, so tell our listeners, I have heard you twice. So tell our listeners, who is Kirk?
Well, I'm the founder of Xizzle TV, which is a free app on Roku and Amazon Fire TV. And like you said, we make TV and lifestyle and entertaining and uplifting and positive content specifically for Latinos, like I said, in English, and representing all Black and brown faces and communities, because that's our goal. Our goal is to uplift them, represent them, and because let's face it, regular media doesn't really care about most of our stories, but I do. I have a passion for it. It's like my superpower, and so I use my 25 plus years of experience in front of the camera and a couple more years of that behind the camera to interview people like you, and I give them a full-blown standalone episode. Xizzle TV right now, we don't have a show. You become the show. So let's say I interview you, Gabi, about your book. You get your own individual episode on Xizzle TV. We talk about your book regarding discrimination. And then we give you your own thumbnail, your own headline. And what I do is I give you an intro of a video montage, graphics montage of what you do, who you are, and everything that's amazing about you. And then I welcome you in on the interview. So it's high production, it's fun. I like to call it a podcast on steroids for minorities. But listen, I have lots of fun on there. I work with Disney. We have Disney content on there, Universal Orlando. So there's lots of fun stuff and some travel stuff as well. But the heart of the matter is lifestyle, entertainment, innovation, inspiration, and motivation for Latinos and for Black and brown people, because there's so many of us like yourself, Gabi. We're doing so many amazing things out there, not only in America, but across the world. And, we need a spotlight for that. And we need to be reflected, and we need true representation as to what we're doing, what our communities are doing, the people in the communities, amazing businesses in the community, meeting the small businesses that are doing super cool, amazing things, from tech to fashion to you name it. And so that's what the network's all about. It's free, like I said, so you can download it. Just do a search in Roku and Amazon Fire. But we're also simulcast on BINGE Networks. So that's BINGE, and that's on every other platform out there, including Apple TV. And I just spoke to someone in South Africa. They're watching on BINGE Networks. I have people in Argentina, Vive, buenas. Argentina, they're watching on Roku or Amazon Fire TV. So we have an international, viewership already. But it's just, me having fun making TV for for people like you and me, uplifting and everything's, between 2 to 10, 15 minutes, because nobody really watches a show anymore. So it's easily digestible, according to people's viewers and viewers' habits, because we all do that. We all like to hop around. This stinks, hop around to the next thing. And that's what it is. It's a place where you can surf the internet, if you will, and jump around and hopefully find something that speaks to you directly.
That inspires you, absolutely. But my question would be, how did you get into this? How did you get into the TV world?
Okay.
Was it your dream as growing up?
No, it was not. I was a Venezuelan immigrant in Miami, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I did know I had a dream of going to the University of Miami, and when I got there, they made me pick a major in my after my sophomore year, obviously, and they have a great broadcast journalism school, go Canes. And when I was walking by the building one day, they had a big sign, audition for a new sports show, and I said, I like sports. Let me just go in and audition for this. You had to write your own script. And I auditioned, and the head of the program was a former CNN producer and also a CNN. There was also a CNN, the first female CNN anchor in the history of CNN. She was part of the program as well. And they saw me and they said, "Wow, you're a natural. You've got the job. You're going to be our main anchor for the University of Miami sportscast." Graduated, and then worked 5 years behind the scenes, working from midnight to 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. as a producer behind the scenes, still trying to, get my dream of telling a story with video medium, because that's really what sports is and journalism is. Broadcast journalism is telling a story through the video medium. And it took me a long time to get on camera. Once I did, within a couple of years, I got an audition tape. I got an agent, and they got me an audition for ESPN. And this was back in 2003. I auditioned and immediately got it. And back then, there were no Hispanics speaking English on ESPN. I was the first. So, I'm a bit of a trailblazer, forgotten trailblazer, pioneer. I would speak a little Spanish on the air, and I would represent, any Hispanic baseball player. If David Ortiz, he used to play back then for the Boston Red Sox, hit a home run, I'd yell Dominicano. He was Dominican. If Miguel Cabrera, who was Venezuelan, where I'm from, hit a home run, I'd yell Venezolano. If a Puerto Rican like Ivan Rodriguez, aka Pudge, hit a home run, I'd yell Boricua. And I thought everybody loved it because I was bringing real representation.
Yes.
But then when my contract was up, they didn't renew me. And I was told that the executive offices, the corner offices, the executives didn't feel comfortable watching me on the air. And then, so that's where my passion comes from, of really, finally, all these years later, being ultimately unapologetically Latino and Hispanic, because after I left ESPN, everywhere I went, they told me, that stuff you used to do on ESPN, roll your R's and speak a little Spanish, you can't do that here. So my Latino voice was taken from me, I felt. My genuine voice, at essence, who I am, an immigrant, a Latino, and being a pioneer, really representing people, because baseball players used to love me. I used to go into any clubhouse, and I was the guy who represented them, who was truly Latino, right? Just like them. And so I felt like that voice was taken away from me. And then during the pandemic, I finally realized I'm done making TV the way they currently make TV, because at my last station, we had a lifestyle and entertainment show that I hosted and was a producer, and we barely had any Black or brown faces on there. So I made the decision of going out of my way and finding those Black and brown stories. I said, you know what? I need the freedom to really do this full time, because we deserve our own platform. Nobody's making TV for Latinos or Black and brown people with a positive, uplifting message that speaks to who we are, speaks to our multiculturalism. So I love interviewing businesses, business owners, CEOs, and yes, talking about their business, but then also unpacking their entire story and telling their multicultural story, telling how them being multicultural is an asset and helps them provide a better product, and then talk about who they really are at an essence and what their mission statement is, and talk about how fun it is being multicultural in America and anywhere in the world. The more we are, the more colors we bring, the brighter the rainbow, right?
Oh my God! Can you let me write that down?
I just came up with that. That's not
You
even a
just
line that I say.
Oh my God!
Just me spewing stuff.
Can you type it on the chat for me, please? Type it on the chat.
What is it? The more the colors, the brighter the rainbow.
Yeah, the more the color.
The more
yeah.
the
Okay,
colors,
keep talking.
the brighter the rainbow. And so I wanted to make something hot that's fun, that's not just multicultural, but that speaks to what we are, because as Latinos in the US and many American speaking Latinos, we ingest our media in English, most of my friends, everyone here in Miami, I'm a straight up immigrant, I came from Venezuela, but I was raised here, and I ingest my media for the most part in English. And nowhere could I find anywhere that made TV for someone like me. So I didn't just find the niche. I like to say I am the niche. And then I think me being completely open about it, I've really bonded with, the Black anchors I've worked with, because we have an open dialogue about this. We're really heart to heart, very genuine, and carrying the dialogue that we have about our multiculturalism and the barriers we break down and the challenges we face every day as being, people in front of the camera of color. So I feel like I connect with any African American, any multicultural. If you're Pakistani American, Indian American, Muslim American, it doesn't matter. We all experience America in a different way, and that's through that spectrum of multiculturalism, because we're raised one way with a little sprinkle of our own native culture, or our parents' native culture, and then we're also raised in the American way with American culture. And my dad, was Venezuelan, but he went to a military academy here in the United States, and he taught me all about Americana and what Americana was all about, golden age of Hollywood. So I love the U.S. more than anything, and most immigrants do that I interact with. We cherish this country because we come from really impoverished areas. We come from really true poverty and desperation, and we appreciate what the United States has to offer. You're in Canada. I'm sure you feel the same way about Canada, having lived through what you lived in Africa. So it's all about a positive place to talk about multiculturalism, to have fun with it. And listen, I interview white people too, Gabby. I interviewed Elena Cardone, Grant Cardone's wife. But wow. I said, because she's trying to reach women of all color, right? So I told her, so is there anything, that you do to try to connect? I know she lives in Miami. So, you're living in Miami. She was, actually, and she was kind of shy about it. I've been taking Spanish for 2 years. So I got her to speak Spanish on the air, and we had a big laugh about it. And it was a lot of fun. And we talk about, and I give her credit for trying to, connect with that multicultural aspect that is part of Miami and the Latin culture down.
I didn't know that about her. That is incredible.
Yeah. Well, that's because you haven't watched the Xizzle TV episode with Elena Cardone.
Yeah, I have to.
Listen, I will say that she says something really funny about being wanting to be given the status and check mark of a hot Latina. So watch it, and we have a big laugh about it. It's a lot of fun.
I will definitely. Oh my God, my respect for her just grew. That's incredible. Yeah. So have you ever been, besides of you losing your job because you whatever experiences that you went through, have you ever faced discrimination or bullying when you were in college or when you were in school?
Well, not so much bullying, but you get it's discrimination nonetheless. One of my consultants at the University of Miami, I went in there to ask for help, because being an immigrant, I couldn't afford it on my own. So I was writing grants and this and that, was looking for advice. And they're like, what's your dream? I was like, well, I want to, I had very humble dreams. I just want to get an on-camera job somewhere and tell stories through the video medium. It's my passion. I love doing. And he goes, but in Spanish, right? And I go, no, in English. Why? My English isn't good enough. That's why, you should really focus on the Spanish because you're very Hispanic. You have that Hispanic last name. I would stick to the Spanish, okay? So, you get marginalized, you get placed, you get told, hey, stay in your corner, stay in your place. And to be honest with you, this still happens a lot because I am on social media, I'm very Latino, and I talk about being in the media. I get a lot of young reporters, anchors reach out to me and advise, hey, this is happening to me. Very similar to what I just described. This is happening to me at my station. You know, I'm being told that I'm not going to get the job because I'm too Latina, I'm too Latino, I'm too Hispanic. And I give them some advice, and I empower them. And I tell them, be twice as good as anyone else on that station. Do your work, put your nose to the grindstone, continue being amazing, because I know you're amazing, because you've reached a certain level. You're on TV and you're a Latino or a Latina, so you've already broken some barriers. So I know that they have a passion and a desire. I say, continue working that hard. And when your contract comes up, you're going to have a great resume tape, and you'll find somewhere that really appreciates your multiculturalism. And a year or so later, I get notes, hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your advice. It really helped. It carried me through the tough times. And I'm the main anchor at so-and-so station. So it makes me very happy to be able to give them a little bit of guidance. And, you know, having lived it myself, and been a pioneer myself, I know exactly what they're going through. I can empathize, and I can give them, you know, only the advice of what I did, you know, just nose to the grindstone, keep working hard. And, you know, women in TV have to even work twice as hard as the men, because they have a double standard. So can you imagine that? You know, you should know, Gabby, you're a minority and you're a woman. So you have to work even harder.
Yeah.
So much respect to all the ladies out there who are crushing it and crushing the game. So I try to take that into consideration as well, and try to empower them as Latinas, not just a Latino, but as females as well. So, and then a couple of times when I was getting interviewed for ESPN, you know, they fly you up for the interview, and you're meeting everyone, and everyone's, you know, oh, Gimenez, oh, you must be interviewing in Spanish for ESPN Deportes. Like, no, I'm interviewing and auditioning in English. In English, really? And I don't blame them for it, because no one had ever done it, right? No one had ever been Hispanic and auditioned for ESPN in English. So for them, it was like a shock. Like, what do you mean? Wait, in English? I'm like, yeah, in English. Why? Is my accent too heavy? Am I not, you know, am I not good looking enough? What's the deal? Do I look too Hispanic? And then they'd go, oh, no. It's just, you know, everyone who comes in here with a Hispanic last name is for ESPN Deportes. Like, well, I am not. I am for regular ESPN. I'm auditioning for regular ESPN. And I got that a lot during the time while I was, I think you're up there, they fly you up for 3 days back then. They would stay for 3 days and go through the interview process, and everyone and their mothers would interview you. But, and I didn't, you know, I didn't feel bad about it. It was just, that's just the way it was. And I understood, okay, I'm the first one. So, you know, in Spanish we say, me tocó a mí. It was my, you know, it fell upon me to break the barrier. So did it with a smile, did it with grace, tried to do it with style anyway, and grace. But this was pre-internet, pre-social media, so I can't. And people were still shredding me apart. I would get, there was talk groups of ESPN, and people would crush me. Why is this guy speaking Spanish on TV? But my co-anchors loved it, so I felt that embrace. And so when ESPN, when you're doing a highlight and you're doing a 2-anchor show, sometimes one highlight is one guy's, and then the other guy stays quiet. But even when it was other people's highlights, they'd say, Kirk, where's David Ortiz from? And I go, Dominicano, and then they'd continue their highlight. So they would cue me up to do my shtick even during their highlights. So they embraced it. They felt the love. And a lot, you know, I would get a lot of producers saying, do you have to do that on the air? And I'm like, yeah, because that guy is Dominican, and I'm not only having fun about it, I'm not only, you know, representing him and his culture and his country, but I'm educating fans of his that maybe didn't even know that he was Dominican, because he's really dark, black guy, right? David Ortiz. Maybe they didn't even know he was Dominican. And here I am going Dominicano. They're like, oh, wait, that guy's not American? No, he's Dominican. So, you know, I'd stick to my guns. I said, listen, I'm only doing it once a show, once a half hour. Is that fine? And then they couldn't say anything about that.
Oh yeah, it goes this discrimination thing. So there was, I remember one time I worked like in these fancy offices, and you know, there's a company who had hired cleaners, so they would come and clean the bathrooms 2-3 times a day and all that. So there was an older lady, one of them. I always say good morning to them. How are you? Have a nice weekend. How was your weekend? This is typical me, right? So one day I walk in and one of my colleagues walks in, and they had the cleaning staff by the door. So this lady, who is obviously Caucasian, she goes to the lady. She must be in her late 50s, the lady who is cleaning the ladies' washroom, and she goes to her, oh, when are you gonna finish? When can we come back? The same tone that you just hearing me, the same tone. And I was shocked. The lady was shocked. Oh, I can take it out, madam, if you want. She goes, no, I'll come back. Just tell me 10 minutes, 15 minutes. She went back to the office. I stood there shocked. The woman stared at me. I told her, are you okay? Like, can I give you a hug? She was shocked that I actually said that. So I gave her a hug, and I told her, sorry, not everybody acts like that. And anyway, went back to the office and I had a good chat with the lady. I told her, why did you have to speak to the lady like that? She goes to me, oh, she's just a cleaner.
Oh, wow.
And I said to her,
just a cleaner.
That cleaner is a lady. Obviously, you can see she's in her 50s. She's a wife. She's a mother, probably a grandmother. How would you like if anybody treated your own mom like that? She was shocked. She goes, I never thought about it that way. I told her, well, you better do that. So every time that woman sees me, her face would be sad, believe it or not, Kirk. Whenever she sees me, immediately she lights up. She goes to me, you know, you always make me happy when I see you. I give her a hug every time I see her. Like, you know, I'm getting emotional now because these people, they're working to help their families, and this is how they get treated. And I have seen it a ton of times. And trust me, I don't keep quiet. I don't.
Good. That's good. You're a warrior.
Yeah.
That's
oh my
amazing.
God. I'm just getting emotional just thinking about it right now. Yeah. Yeah. Because this woman came into this country for a better life. She's doing this work. And the last thing she needs is this verbal abuse or emotional abuse. You know what I mean? At least you should say thank you. When can I come back? Oh, that's okay. Is it 10 minutes? Can I come back after 10 minutes? Nicely. So I don't think she ever acted that way. I gave her a good lesson when I went back to the
office. I'm glad, and you continue doing that.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
amazing.
I know.
I'm the same way. You don't need to teach. You don't need to talk to somebody like that. They're
exactly.
You know, they're human beings too, and you know, I have you know, aunts, cousins, uncles who are in America doing those jobs, because they're immigrants and they're first generation, and they come here, like you said, to elevate their families and their children, and hopefully their children get opportunities that they never did. Look at me, you know, my dad couldn't believe that I made it to an ESPN anchor position before I was 30. May he rest in peace. He's long gone now. But I think he'd be proud of the fact that I'm pioneering yet again on Xizzle TV. That's Xizzle with an X, as you see right there.
Yeah.
On Roku for free, on Roku and Amazon Fire. But it's something that you have a fire inside of you. It's who we are.
Yeah.
And it's a passion that we have. Yeah. And I think it brings us joy, right? So to me, I find joy in telling these stories, and shining a light on people who sometimes maybe would have gotten ignored, and then representing them in the right way. And I have fun speaking Spanglish openly now on without the fear of my contract getting renewed, because I know the CEO.
I know who the CEO is right now. I know, eh? Oh my God, I love it.
The founder and the CEO, so I could speak as much Spanish as I want. And I've done some segments completely in Spanish, because the subject matter, I was interviewing someone who was Venezuelan and is Venezuelan, an amazing lady who makes gourmet teas, custom-made gourmet teas in Venezuela. And then I also interviewed people in Puerto Rico, Boricuas, and that was completely in Spanglish, because everyone there is Spanglish. Like, it's English and Spanish all at the same time. I call it like Miami South. So I had a lot of fun doing that one as well. They make, there's this place called Pecas in Puerto Rico, in San Juan, and it's these two beautiful women, and they make nice and naughty ice cream. So the nice ice cream doesn't have alcohol. The naughty ice cream, yeah, it's spiked. Isn't that great?
Yeah, I love it. Oh my God. Yeah, I love it.
I love telling those stories, and I have a lot of fun doing them. And if you want to be on, and if you have I say I'm reimagining the way marketing and branding are done in the streaming economy. And my strength is marketing and branding and helping you become the author in your field. So if you want some marketing and branding, email me, Kirk, K-I-R-K, at Xizzle.tv.
.tv, yeah. And then I'll be posting all your information on both platforms. So, oh my God, I really want to have you come back another day.
Let me know. Shoot me a DM.
Yeah, I will.
It all goes down in the DM between.
I know. I know, eh? I know. Oh my God. Before we get to the last words, your advice to people, I like to ask 2 questions to all my guests. If you had to visit 3 countries before you die, what countries would they be?
3 countries before I died. All right, being a sports guy and a huge tennis guy, I got to go to England because I got to go to Wimbledon. One of my very first sports memories was watching Wimbledon on TV with my dad, and that is on my bucket list, Wimbledon. I'm going to leave the most important for last.
Okay.
I'd love to go to Tahiti because I'm desperately, madly in love with a Boricua that I met in Puerto Rico. We're engaged, so that would be a dream for us to go to Tahiti or Fiji. And then lastly, Venezuela. I'd love to go to a free Venezuela that's back to that's climbed back from socialism and communism, and is once again free and open to travel to, for its people to be free, for its people to have economic freedom, social freedoms, and social justice. And again, that last one left the most important for last, because I haven't been to Venezuela in 12 years because of the political strife and economic strife down there. And I'd love to take my son and see him where Papi is from. He calls me Papi. So that's a huge desire and dream that I have deep in my heart, part of who I am. And I'd love to share that with my son, and I'd love to have my family that's still down there liberated.
Yeah, absolutely. That is absolutely beautiful. Oh my God, you just gave me goosebumps. The last one, incredible. Fingers crossed, who knows, right? We have to keep trying. Yeah, that's that. If you have one dream that you haven't accomplished yet, but you would love to accomplish before you die, what would it be?
My son speaks fluent Spanish. I always say, before I die, that young man, he's 10 years old, will be fluent in Spanish. I work with him every day. And I want him to really understand what it is to be multicultural, how important it is to be Latino, and we're trying to teach him, you know, that warmth, that el calor Latino. We have this Spanish warmth that we're proud of. So that's my, you know, as a father, and as a man and as a person, that's the first thing in my heart. That's the first most important thing is for my son to understand who he is, to understand his people, and to grow up multicultural, to grow up bilingual, and being truly, truly, truly Hispanic.
Oh my God, you gave me another goosebump. And he will, because you are his role model. What you're doing right now, he's watching what his dad is doing. What do you think he's going to do? He's going to follow his dad's footsteps.
Well, let's hope. Listen, it took me a year to get him to eat the black beans and rice and red beans and rice. But now he loves it. Now it's his favorite thing. And I'm so proud of that. I go, what's your favorite food? He goes, arroz con habichuela or arroz con frijoles. I'm like, yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay. Oh, is that a traditional dish?
In Venezuela, we call them caraotas, which is the black beans. And in Puerto Rico, my fiance is from Puerto Rico, they call it habichuelas, which are red beans. They love the red beans. And my son loves those red beans.
And they're very healthy for you too, right? They're very healthy,
iron, fiber.
The iron, everything, yeah. We we have them, but the way we cook it is different than you guys. But yeah, we do eat a lot of red beans in general anyway.
Yeah, beans in general are best. And listen, I always have a funny saying, you know, in America, there's an old timey saying, it's like, oh, I'm all over that like peanut butter on jelly. Well, I say, and listen, don't steal it from me because I haven't trademarked this, anybody who's listening. I say, I'm all over it like black beans on rice or red beans on rice. Don't worry about it. Like Gabby, if you tell me, listen, Kirk, I need you to do such and such. I want you to interview me. I'll go, Gabby, I'm all over it like black beans on rice. Don't you worry. And here in Miami, everybody laughs at it. They love it, you know, because it's like an American saying, but you know, flipped on its head and turned into a Latino with a rice and beans reference.
I would love to try that. I don't think I have been to one in Canada, like a Venezuelan restaurant or something. There is Mexican.
Listen,
a lot.
It's Venezuelans were right on the Caribbean. We're part of South America, but we border the Caribbean. So we're very influenced with the Caribbean. So if you can't find a Venezuelan, go to a Puerto Rican or a Cuban restaurant, very similar.
Okay, Cuban restaurant, but we have a lot of
Cuban restaurants are Mexican. Yeah, Mexican is not Caribbean at all. Their food is completely different than the Caribbean style Latinos that we serve up more garlic, a lot of beans, either black or red, a lot of sofrito, which is a mixture of garlic, onions, sauteed in olive oil, and
all the healthy stuff.
Yeah, that's how we cook it. Listen, when we cook, we walk out of the house smelling like garlic.
Okay, I know, but yeah, but you know, like if I have a recipe that says 2 cloves of garlic, I put 5.
Oh, 5.
Yeah,
you don't double it up.
No, I do more. Because it just is healthy for you. It's like, you know, it's anti-cancer, we know now, and so is onion, and so is onion, and then so I love it.
It helps to boost the immune system too.
It does. Oh yeah, you bet. Yeah, garlic actually can also fight infection.
Fights infection. Yes,
fights infections. So people actually, they cut them in small pieces and take them as tablets.
Oh, look at that.
It lowers high blood pressure. If you take garlic, you don't need to take any high blood pressure medication.
Yeah, it fights vampires. It does it all. It's amazing.
Vampires. You believe in that? Are they real vampires?
No,
it's just a joke. Okay, yeah.
It's part of the myth. You know, how do you fight a vampire? Garlic.
Yeah, I have seen like people, they tie it and hang it somewhere at the entrance of the door. Apparently, it prevents evil eye. Or something like that. Yeah, they
the vampires.
And the vampires. Oh my God, you're so much fun and such an inspiring young man. Oh my God, God bless you for what you do.
How young do you? I'm interested to see how young you think.
Well, compared to me, you are young. Like what? Like 28, 29, 30.
I'm 48 years old. I'm knocking on 50. Hi 50. I'm coming for you.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah, I'm 48. Yeah. I make 48 look good, right?
Yeah. I mean, seriously, I was going to say 32 or something.
I'm 48.
Oh, wow.
Don't feel those 48 yet. Don't feel them yet.
Yeah, no. But then you're eating healthy. You're positive. It helps a lot, right? It does help a lot.
I always tell people, if you start connecting to joy, I've been to a lot of masterminds recently, and I see people who, yes, they're successful. Yes, they're wealthy. They're unhappy. They're not connecting to joy, no matter what situation you're in. You know, and I've been at jobs. I worked my way through college as an insurance adjuster. I've climbed 10 roofs a day, inspecting roofs. So I've been in the grind. I understand what it is not doing what you love. But try to find a way to connect to joy a little bit every day. During those times where I was working that job and I wasn't doing what I loved, I connected to joy by listening to the radio, going from one inspection to the next, from one roof inspection to the next, really enjoying the music, really enjoying the sunlight when I got out, you know, taking a second and just looking at the view when I was on a 3-story roof or something like that. And then, and appreciating the beauty of some of these multi-million-dollar homes I was inspecting that were damaged by hurricanes or whatnot. Yeah. Like, wow, what a beautiful home. These people are truly blessed. I hope they're happy. So it's connecting to joy. And as children, we connect to joy very rapidly. We run, we're happy. We get a new toy, we're happy.
Yeah.
You know, something we like to eat, sweet, an ice cream, joy. And as we get older, I feel it gets harder if you can fall out of practice. So I try, thankfully I have my son and my stepdaughter. They really, you know, help me stay connected to my inner child. Not granted, I didn't need that much help because I'm a big kid, but the more you are closer to that inner child, the more you connect to joy on a daily basis, the happier person you're going to be. And listen, it's like exercising any muscle. The human mind, as humans, we tend to be negative. So you have to practice being positive. You have to practice connecting to joy. You have to practice finding time for yourself. I tell a lot of Black men and Latino men this, because, you know, they see me as this positive person. They see me with my son, and I'm talking to my son. I'm giving him life lessons at everywhere I go. And they pull me aside and they feel open enough, strangers. Listen, man, how do you do it? And I tell them, I had a breaking point too. I had a meltdown. And I learned this much. You have to take care of yourself first. If you're not okay, your family's not going to be okay.
Absolutely.
You have to be okay first. Take care of you first. Make sure you're okay, your mental wellness. And as soon as and forgive yourself for the mistakes that you have made. No one's perfect. No father's perfect. No mother's perfect. So once you combine all that, you forgive yourself, really forgive yourself. And I had to go through a spiritual awakening to do all of this. I really forgave myself. You know, divorce isn't easy. And I really forgave myself about everything that led up to that. And I started connecting to joy more. And I started being more present for my son and my stepdaughter and even my now fiance. And I found myself that there was more time, there was more energy for everything. Yeah. There were more smiles to be had. And all of this awakening led me to create Xizzle TV. It was an epiphany. I woke up in the middle of the night one night, and that's what led to it. So I really tell people that start taking care of yourself. If you're feeling overwhelmed right now, if you're listening to this or watching this, and you're feeling overwhelmed, I know I was, and like even looking for help and maybe speaking to a professional, it seemed overwhelming to me. But my fiance made me take that first step, and thank God she did. Because you know, as a strong Latino or Black man, you don't need help. You're supposed to be tough.
Yeah.
It was the biggest thing that I could have done was taking that first step. Just take that first step and start looking for someone to help you. Start looking for a professional. Start looking for someone who can talk to. And I went into it with a very bad attitude. I don't want to do this. I can't believe I got to go every week. This is such BS. Come on, man. You know, I've taken my lumps. I've taken my hits, and I get up every time. Well, you're going to reach a point where you can't, you don't want to get up, or it's going to be too much. You're going to feel overwhelmed. When you're at that point, that's where you need to start reaching out and finding a professional help. Start talking to somebody. And that first step, just stick with the process. A few months in, I was lucky enough. It only took a few months. I had an epiphany. Eye-opening epiphany, and I told my counselor, I was like, listen, I don't think I need to come anymore. I had an epiphany. I had a broken barrier. I'd broken the barrier of everything that was going on. I got to the root of my issue, and since that day, I've been back to that younger Kirk who connects to joy, who's happy, who's positive, who's always there to be uplifting people and elevating everyone. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah. So before we close, for when people who have anger issues, what do you advise them? I personally go out for a walk, because some people are angry, they lash out.
Anger issues. Yes. And listen, I was starting to feel angry towards the world, snapping at my son, and not being patient. It's breathing. Breathing helps so much.
Yeah.
If you're feeling overwhelmed, or if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling angry, right? It's just breathing through that anger. Recognize that you're feeling angry, that you're being, maybe a little irrational, but it's okay, because those are your emotions. Accept those emotions, and then breathe and let them go. I started going to some Buddhist temple through my spiritual awakening, and that was the number one thing that I took away from that was we're all going through something, right? We're all going through SHI blank blank. And we're all going through stuff. And the important thing is to get past it. To, yes, recognize you're feeling this way, recognize you're having this problem, but with the realization that everything is temporary. We're all on this planet for a heartbeat. You're in a blink of an eye, your life is over. You're 80 and you're looking back on your life, right? So it's with that realization that all bad things, all this too shall pass. And good times will be had again. But own that pain, own that anger, and breathe through it. Breathing and mental wellness and meditation help so much. And I don't meditate too much, but when I do yoga, I always end with a couple of breaths of meditation, 5 minutes of meditation. And it really grounds me and centers me, and gets me ready for the day. And to be honest with you, I'm talking to you now about that, and having built Xizzle TV and being the CEO, the founder, the host. It's been draining on me the last few weeks, and I have lost touch with that. Lost touch with the yoga that I had as a bi-weekly ritual, and then ending that yoga with some meditation. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna make an effort this week, and that's human nature, right? We all fall off the wagon, we all fall off the wheel. What did I say? What's the number one thing? Forgive yourself.
Yeah.
Don't be too hard on yourself. Life is too short, and life should be sweet. And in that Buddhism, I learned we're on this planet to be happy, right? We're supposed to be happy. Yes. Stuff is going to happen that's going to break that happiness, but realize that you can be happy, even moments of difficultness and or difficulty and strife and economic strife and personal strife and health issues, and you can always choose to put on rosy-colored glasses and be positive, and attack it with fervor, a smile in your heart, smile on your face, and with grace.
Yeah, right? Beautifully said. Yeah, for me, like, I like to go out. Like, if I'm in the workplace and somebody really got in my nerve, I would just go outside, go like 2 blocks for a walk, deep breathing. In those 2 blocks, I come back in a different person. One thing I learned from my mom is a slap in the face you could get upset if somebody slaps you in the face for a month, for 3 months, for 6 months. It can easily be forgotten, but harsh words will never be forgotten. That's the lesson I learned from my mom. So before you say anything stupid to anybody that upsets you, that you will regret, just go out, go for a walk, or whatever Kirk said.
That walk helps because sunlight helps as well. Sunlight, vitamin D really helps with your mindset. And here's something else that helps me as well is, we all make mistakes, like I said. So if you make a mistake with someone else and they're not forgiving or understanding, it speaks more about what they're going through, right? A lot of times people react to what you do with a baggage that they're carrying. It has nothing to do with
you. That is wisdom. You nailed it. True.
Has zero to do with what you are, who you are as a person. If you make a mistake and really say, "Oh wow, that's really my apologies. That's really on me," and they're still in your face and still being angry, they're carrying a lot more on their backpack, right? Their stress backpack, than you may realize. Or maybe that's just the kind of person they are. But you shouldn't let it affect you, who you are as a person, how you react. And in fact, it's like a shield. I use that as a shield, right? Because I try to be as nice and great and polite and positive with everyone I know. And if they don't receive that, I let it go. I say, listen, that's their issue. If they don't want to receive the light, if they don't want to be, they're not on that vibe, if they're not resonating on the same wavelength as I am, they're dealing with things, or maybe that's just their issue, and I'm not going to let that get past my shield.
Exactly. Absolutely fantastic. Oh my God, you're incredible. Okay, what's your last word for our listeners?
Joy. Do something today that's going to connect you with joy, You're going to be a happier person along the way. You're going to be a happier person today. Connect with joy. It doesn't have to be through Xizzle TV, with anything that you want to do, and do it. You know, life is just too short. Connect with joy, and it'll help you be a happier person. I'm not going to say you're going to be happy, right? Because happy is we're made on this earth to be happy, but happiness is fleeting. It comes and goes. But you can be a happier person with who you are, what you're doing, and it makes you a better father, mother, grandmother, sister, niece. It's just gonna improve every aspect of your life.
Absolutely. Connect with joy, and then connect with Kirk at xizzletv.com. Did I say it right?
Actually, our website is Xizzle.tv. Xizz,
Xizzle.tv, not .com, guys. Okay, so connect with Kirk at Xizzle TV. No, at Xizzle.tv.
Yeah, it's not a .com. I thought that would be cool, but it throws people for a loop.
No. Yeah,
maybe
absolutely.
I made a mistake making it a .tv, but I thought it'd be cool. Oh, it's Xizzle TV, and it's all you got to do is put a dot between the Xizzle and the TV, and you got the website.
Yeah,
but you can also email me if you want to be interviewed. KIRK at
Xizzle.tv. Okay, and then I'll be posting it anyway. Thank you so much. It's been a blessing having you. I got a lot of golden nuggets.
Oh, really? I get, listen, the young guy gave you nuggets. Hey, that's something.
A lot of golden nuggets.
Yeah, I'm just really, I feel like I'm connected to a different wavelength now. And I'm vibrating at a real positive high wavelength. And I think people are picking up on that. And I try to make TV the same way. I'm also on social media, Kirk Gimenez, KIRKGIMENEZ, verified across all accounts. So Kirk with his face and a blue check mark. Look for me.
Yes, that is true. So yeah, you did. I wrote like this quote is going to be yours. I'm going to post it. And
you
then
like the
your
color
name.
one, right?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love, and a lot of other wisdom I got from you. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for watching or for listening. I'll be posting all his bio, his social media links, his website, and everything else. Please do connect with him. Until the next episode, stay blessed. Thank you so much.